Every now and then, I get to take a look at products that are different from the kinds of tech we normally look at on the channel. Even better, if it's from a product category that's fresh to me, that I can sink my teeth into and learn about as I go. And so we are taking a look at this, the S1 Pro from Eufy, who wanted to sponsor this video and sent it out before release to show me what a complete robot floor cleaner looks like in 2024. Let's jump right in. You see, the last time I properly used a robotic vacuum cleaner was probably about 6 or 7 years ago. And boy, have things changed a lot since then. Not only does the S1 Pro aim to automate the suck, that's with 4 C's, but it's also one among a handful of premium cleaners out there that also mops your floors simultaneously to get a more comprehensive wash between your hard flooring and carpet. Looking around the S1 Pro itself, it's quite a beast. It has these giganto tracks for wheels with a lot of vertical travel, meaning it can transition between all kinds of carpeting, rugs, hard floors, and trim, all without skipping a beat. Obviously, it has all of the actual vacuuming and mopping bits, including these spinning brushes on the front to agitate and push loose dust and debris toward the suck. We're talking about roughly 8,000 pascals of suction power through this rotating bit in the middle, which gathers up all of that dirt into a container. As for the mop that's included on the S1 Pro, it's quite plush, very absorbent, and applies the right amount of force on your floors to sort of mimic doing it by hand. Plus, when it comes time for the robot to transition from hard flooring over to carpet, it can actually raise the mop by 12 millimeters as to not get your carpeting wet. However, best of all, what really sets the S1 Pro apart from its competition is that it is the first automated mop that actually cleans itself as it goes, actively wringing out the grime and debris that it gathers into a built-in waste tank. This way, the mop doesn't just move the dirt around your room or leave streaks of residue everywhere, but rather it can stay fresh for as long as possible. For the robot itself, this means less trips to and from its base station in order to complete tasks. Also, stay tuned, we're going to be talking about this absolute mammoth of a tower in just a moment. But all of this results in faster and more efficient cleaning overall. I tested out the mopping capabilities of the S1 Pro on our polished concrete floors here in the Overclock Media office, and it cleaned up everything from dried coffee stains all the way to soda and milk, all without smearing it, which was super impressive. Of course, what really makes this vacuum and mopping combo a real piece of tech is what also makes it a robot. And the S1 Pro uses a myriad of hardware and software in order to effectively clean your floors. Eufy is particularly proud of this new dual RGB IR camera called the 3D Matrix Eye, which is kind of like Face ID on your iPhone on steroids. How this works is it emits an array of 300,000 invisible dots around your room at 8 times per second, which it scans with its camera to make a dense, real-time 3D model of your space. This robust level of depth information helps the S1 Pro act more intelligently and, at least in Eufy's eyes, more human-like as well. This allows the robot to avoid obstacles that other robot vacuums would normally struggle with, things like furniture legs or shoes, all of which have very odd shapes. In fact, when the S1 Pro generates a map of your room, when you take a look at it on the app, it'll actually point out what some of these things are with helpful icons so that you can look out for them ahead of its routine. In addition to the 3D camera, there's also LiDAR as well as other sensors on board that help the vacuum figure out optimal routes around your room as well as to adapt to changes, like if you relocate furniture or move stuff around from time to time. So you can rest assured that the vacuum has really good avoidance tech to not only preserve itself, but also your pieces of furniture and whatever you have in your room, and also so it doesn't fall down the stairs or anything like that. Naturally, the vacuum and mop gathers all of the dirt and grime internally, but when it comes time to actually dump it all, the S1 Pro has this huge but cool looking base station to take care of basically everything. When the robot actually lands on the dock itself, not only will it receive a charge for power, but it will also offload all of that waste as well. There are dedicated containers on this thing for dirt as well as wastewater that are cleverly hidden in and around the back, out of sight for when you actually need to dump them out. Plus, there is also a freshwater reservoir on the front of the base station for easy access, which you can lift out and refill with water. On that note, when it comes to the actual day-to-day maintenance, again with refills as well as emptying out the dirty reservoirs, the base station is designed in a way where it's fairly ergonomic. It's quite tall and has easy to reach handles, so you don't have to really bend down all that much to do all of that work, which adds to the level of convenience. Something else that's also really cool with this gigantic base station is that it also thoroughly cleans the mop as well. It rids it of all kinds of germs and odors using that fresh tank of water and solution mix, and blasts it with 131 degrees of hot air at the end to not only dry it, but also further sanitize it as well. Plus, right on the top, there are some convenient touch controls, so you don't have to fumble around with the app if you don't want to. Though it is important to note that you will want it on hand at the very least for the initial onboarding process when you first install the S1 Pro into your home in order to tweak things like preferences and settings. To wrap things up here, when it comes to these automated cleaners, in my own opinion, past a certain threshold of upkeep by you as the user, what was supposed to be a convenience add to your home can ultimately end up feeling not too far off from cleaning floors the old-fashioned way. And when it gets to that point, it does end up feeling like you put your hundreds of hard-earned dollars to waste. However, with the S1 Pro, I think it actually makes strides in being easy to live with. Yes, this is a sponsored video, and it's not like I have much experience with these kinds of products, but in a vacuum, it'll be handy to have around the house, especially as someone that loathes being an adult and procrastinates his chores all the time. If you guys are curious about the S1 Pro, I will leave a link in the description below with more information. They're currently crowdfunding it on Kickstarter, which if you buy from there can get you up to a 40% discount. And also let me know what you think about the S1 Pro in the comments below. Otherwise, thanks to Eufy for sponsoring this video and for supporting the content that we make here on Denki channel. Otherwise, I'll catch y'all in the next one.